this is my review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Okay, so in this episode, not only is Vanilla Ice finally defeated in what is admittedly a little bit of a lame way, considering how cool his power was, but the rest of the Joestar group begins to actually catch up to Polnareff, who is now slowly making his way to Dio, and also Joseph's wife Suzi is now aware of what's happening with her daughter. So all of those things happen in this episode, and I'm going to get to them one by one. So, starting off, the final fight against Vanilla Ice. So despite Vanilla Ice's best efforts, and it clearly showing Polnareff being disintegrated, Iggy actually manages to use a last-ditch effort to save Polnareff from Vanilla Ice's power, which works, but Iggy dies in the process, as bleeding out almost immediately after using his stand, which causes the fool to actually just fall apart because it's no longer being maintained by a stand and is now just sand. So both tragically stricken about how Iggy just kind of tragically died on him, and angry at Vanilla Ice for killing him, Polnareff uses the opportunity to use the chariot to spear Vanilla Ice through the head and snap his neck, which works-ish. So afterwards, Polnareff finally takes the opportunity to realize that he actually figured out just exactly what kind of person Iggy was, realizing that while he was a stubborn and dumb mutt, he realizes that it was because of his stubbornness that he was actually able to save Iggy, and realizes just how much Iggy actually cared about him, and realizes that they were actually best friends just after Iggy dies. So unfortunately, that never gets dwelled on again because Iggy is dead now. So yeah, it's tragic and sad because now Polnareff has lost two of his best friends. This time for real in Abdul's case, since Abdul was kind of shot in the head, but was still very much alive several episodes later. So yeah, so Abdul to a lesser extent, since he kind of technically died, but both of them have been killed by the same person nonetheless. However, this morning is cut short when Vanilla Ice is revealed to not have actually died from the snapped neck, and actually tries to use a last-ditch effort to actually destroy Polnareff. However, Polnareff immediately realizes that Vanilla Ice has snuck up behind him, and immediately destroys him with his stand. Basically, he skewers Vanilla Ice over and over until Vanilla Ice is barely able to stand. At which point, Vanilla Ice tries to charge at Polnareff, but Polnareff has since figured out what exactly Vanilla Ice is, and in case of point, breaks down one of the walls, which causes sunlight to flood into the room, and Vanilla Ice loses an arm, then a leg. At which point, it's explained that Polnareff had since figured out that Vanilla Ice has in fact slowly become a vampire throughout the fight. So he wasn't a vampire to begin with, but as time went on, he slowly became more immortal and became a vampire. And sure enough, Polnareff uses this to his advantage by actually breaking down one of the walls, which enables sunlight to flood into the room and therefore killing Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice is unable to actually get to Polnareff without going through the sunlight, and even Polnareff knows this. And then basically, as I was saying about how Vanilla Ice kind of dies in a really lame way, he winds up just getting tripped by Polnareff's stand, and he falls into a sunbeam and dies. That's how he dies. He gets tripped from behind by Polnareff's stand and just falls into a sunbeam and dies. That is how he goes out. It is stupid. I told you it was stupid, and it was kind of a little lame, but he finally is put to death after so long, and after 3.5 episodes. So yeah, I would say that it was a payoff, but kind of a lackluster one. But in any case, now that Vanilla Ice is dead, for some reason, Abdul and Iggy's spirits actually come out to play and give one final salute before departing into the afterlife. It's not entirely clear what that is. It's explained to either be an illusion or it actually happens. We don't know. But after seeing whatever he just saw, Polnareff patches himself back up and heads back up the stairs to the landing where Dio's bedroom is. With the full intent of actually finishing Dio off once and for all, and does eventually come face to face with Dio by the end of the episode. So now, meanwhile, while all of that is happening, Roses has taken Suzi Q to see her daughter in Japan, but hasn't actually come clean about what's actually going on with her daughter. And sure enough, they're with one of the associates of the Speedwagon Foundation, who points this out to Roses, explaining what exactly is going on to Roses and how he should probably come clean sooner rather than later. So yeah, Roses tries and fails miserably to actually tell Suzi what's happening. It's mainly because Suzi is kind of just sightseeing and bouncing around all over the place. Eventually, she gets on the wrong side of a Japanese Yakuza, and Roses, surprisingly enough, sends the guy flying with a single punch, despite being many years older than him and possessing no stand powers of his own, and not really looking like the kind of guy who would actually be able to hold himself in a fight. He sends this guy flying with a single punch and escorts Suzi back to the car so they can actually continue the rest of the way back to the Kujo residence. So, and while in the car ride, Suzi actually admits that for more or less, she's known the whole time that something's wrong with her daughter. So she picked up on it from the various phone calls she's received from Joseph and Holly. So she knows something is up. She knows for a fact that something is up. And sure enough, Roses and the associate from the Speedwagon Foundation actually fill her in on what's going on and explain what exactly is happening, and points out that Joseph and Jotaro have actually gone off to Egypt to actually try and fix the problem, and her condition may be better in a couple of days. It depends on if they actually defeat Dio or not. So at any case, Suzi points out that the best thing they can do until the situation either sorts itself out or doesn't is to actually stay with Holly until something happens, and have faith that Jotaro and Joseph are going to be able to finish off Dio once and for all. So basically they just decide to make Holly comfortable in case what's supposed to happen doesn't happen, and then at which case she'll either die or she won't. Again, depends on if Dio dies or not. Although they are slowly closing in on Dio, so I think it is going to end well for them, since Dio is kind of Dio's the main bad guy of the series. He's not in every part, but he's the main bad guy. Even if he does die in this part, it doesn't mean that he's going to be gone from the series, since he does kind of play a major role in every other part of the series, even in the parts he's not in. So yeah. In any case, they're just waiting on Dio and having faith that Joseph and Jotaro will be able to sort it out in the couple of days that she has left. So yeah, Holly may die, she may not. Either way, they'll probably figure it out. But in any case, there is one last antagonist in the series before Dio, and he's kind of a pushover. He doesn't even get a full episode arc or any of that. So there's this character called Nugasaku, who is the last line of defense for Dio's entire operation. Although, here's the thing. He's a vampire. He's a vampire like Dio and Vanilla Ice were, but unlike Vanilla Ice and Dio, he doesn't have a stand. He does have a power, but his power isn't inherently useful. So he rolls in the fact that the other stand user powered people are actually gone, and rolls in the fact that he is now the last line defense. So he decides to do something interesting with his powers. So apparently, his power, and I kid you not, is that he's able to make himself look like a young woman. I kid you not. He has a face and a pair of breasts on his back, and they resemble a young woman, which enables him to actually look like a young woman. So he uses his power to actually try and trick the Joestar group into going easy on him and escorting him out of the building so that he can kill them while their back is turned. But they immediately figure it out because he forgets that his hands are flipped. So yeah, he immediately gets discovered and is forced to be a tour guide instead. So yeah, and also I should mention Nukasaku's translated name because copyright reasons is actually Loser. So there you go. He wasn't gonna be a major player in this story at all. He was just there. But in any case, yeah, he's probably one of the weakest of the opponents that the Joestar group has had to face up this point, except for maybe Kenny G. Even though Kenny G's stand was kind of interesting in that it actually made illusions, which made it a lot harder for the Joestar group to actually get to their goal. So yeah, he at the very least had something to do. Nukasaku is just here. He doesn't do anything. He tries to do something, and then he fails miserably. So he doesn't play any sort of major role in the story. But yeah, with that. But anyway, in any case, with that, the series is all ready to actually wrap up and conclude with the conclusion with the fight against Dio in the next couple of episodes. So yeah, Dio is eventually going to be fought as an actual opponent in the series. So that's going to be interesting and fun. But in any case, yeah, that was my review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and it was kind of disjointed a little bit because there was so much I needed to unpack. There was like 3 separate arcs that I needed to unpack, and it was a little disjointed. But I hope you guys bared with me. So, in any case, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also, check out my Patreon if you want to help support the show. It's only a couple bucks a month. It really helps me out, and you guys get access to a bunch of cool perks on my way saying thanks. So be sure to check those out in the description below as well. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!